Hey, 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 hey. Good morning, everybody. Hi, guys. Hi out there. Hi in here.
Good morning.
Hey, I feel very loved today. Can I tell you why?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, and then I'll introduce everybody. But first, let me talk about why I feel loved. First of all, I'm surrounded by these beautiful T-shirts that people are wearing. You know what they say? They say love rocks. Love rocks.
But what's underneath it?
The Venus Ball Radio Show.
That's right.
Because we have our T-shirts out now. And I want to give a shout out of love to Tashima Oates.
What did you call her?
Tashima.
Okay, right? She sounded like she said sashima, like the sushi.
No, just because I'm still tired.
Okay.
No, Tashima, she is so awesome. We did this live show on Halloween, and we just missed her, you know. Right. She's like our teammate, and we felt like our teammate wasn't here.
I think,
but I love
missed.
Yeah,
yes.
We just really love you, Tashima.
Well, plus Tashima, you missed my sexy nurse outfit, so that really distracted the ladies too. I think that was really.
She's probably so disappointed now.
Right.
People kept trying to get under his skirt, and I could not understand that. They don't do that to me, but they were doing it to him. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So it's going to be one of those mornings. We almost did not get here. Katie and I almost got in a car accident because I neglected to put gas in the car. And they said, this is what they said. So we're live right now, which means that we can't make any mistakes. But the one thing they said to me ahead of time, they said, do not be here late. You have to be here half an hour in advance. So I'm like driving here with Katie and I'm going, uh-oh, the light on my gas came on. And I'm thinking, wait a second, that means soon we're going to be puttering like on the side of the road.
Oh, God.
And we had like 15 minutes left to get here. So I said, we have to get gas. Then I get lost. It was just kind of set the tone for this morning, right?
And it didn't accept our credit card at the gas station.
Didn't accept the card. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get into so much trouble.
And
so
you know
thank
what,
you for
guys?
your graciousness and not being mad. And we got here, right?
And it shows us to never give up.
No, you don't give up. And
you act like you were on safari or something. You were driving
in the middle of Phoenix. We were. It was ridiculous.
Pack some snacks next time. You might get stranded.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I'm Syndeelou Jones, and I'm the host of the Venus Vault. And Venus Vault is about real, true conversations, which is, that's what we're going to do here today. And I bring in my friends, and my special friends are Katie Sabagian, and she is the owner of Your Soul Symphony. She's a spiritual psychologist, and she helps thousands of people worldwide. It's amazing what she does, and I want to get into a little bit of what we experienced this week, but I want to introduce my other precious co-host, who's now fluffing up his chest like a beautiful peacock. That's what he is. He did. He totally took a deep breath.
Many levels.
He just pushed his chest out. I swear to God.
Well,
you know
if
who
you got
are.
it, flaunt it, sister.
Yeah,
that's what
I know. I know that.
Yeah.
I believe in the flaunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should get a T-shirt that says the flaunt. I love it.
I should get a T-shirt that says my eyes are up here. That's what I should say.
I love that.
That is fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so Mike Kennedy, he is a former private investigator and even drove a taxi in years back to try. You know what he does? He actually gets experience from that. He listens to people, and it has really helped his comedic career. He's growing every day. He's toured America. Now he's playing all over the place. So look for him, Mike Kennedy Comedy, and find him on Facebook and go and support our co-host here because he is so funny. It's hard for me not to laugh when I'm with him, I have to say.
Plus I look handsome too, ladies.
Yeah, you are cute.
Well, I'm growing. I'm getting better as I age.
You're coming into your own.
It's really weird. By the time I'm 60, I'm going to be gorgeous.
And you look cleaner every week.
What's cleaner? Yeah. I don't know.
It's my Michael Jordan cologne.
There is something going on.
This is all about championships.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, we're going to talk a little bit about Michael Jordan.
Oh, yes.
Believe it or not. This show today is about bliss, following your bliss. Now, that is a term that was kind of made popular by an author that you guys may know about, Joseph Campbell. He wrote a book called The Power of the Myth. And he didn't certainly come up with that term, let's be honest. Buddhists, follow their bliss, yogis. I mean, this is something Gandhi, Mother Teresa. Bliss is different to every person. So I want to ask you a question, you in the audience, but out there in the audience, but you in the studio, my beautiful friends here. If I were to say to you, what to you means bliss, what would your answer be?
Joy, joy, joy. That comes from following your purpose.
Okay, what about you, Mikey?
I just I would say feeling relaxed. Just calm, peaceful feeling that you get.
So the next question is, what is it that you would do that brings you bliss?
Now that's really interesting because I think depending on what phase you are in your life, your bliss can actually change. It doesn't
True.
have to be the same, right?
I
Throughout your
agree.
life.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I like just laying around on the couch. That's what I like to do. It's hard to find. My daughter and I, that's all we do, lay around and watch TV together. But it's fun. I like doing that. It's a peaceful feeling.
Well, have you ever had to sacrifice? So for me, Bliss, I've looked back on my life. There were times I wasn't happy. There were times I was extremely happy. It didn't make a difference who was in my life as far as what people were in my life. Was my bliss coming from a relationship? Love is blissful. Let's be honest, you know,
Yes.
when you're in love.
Wow.
Especially true love.
No,
Especially
no,
If it's
honey.
good, it's healthy.
Of
it's
course,
good.
That's
Wow.
right. True love.
But
Healthy
love,
love.
the word
Where do you
love, the
find
word
that?
love isn't about truth. I mean, it isn't about untruth.
Yes.
The term love is
Yes.
not about unhealthy love. You know,
Okay.
it's supposed to be good, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
So we're mixing lust with love.
How much extra do you have to pay for that?
Yeah, lust
version
can bring
of
you,
love?
but lust can bring you bliss too. I mean, if you're, you get that excitement, that roller coaster feeling. But the bliss that I'm talking about here today is not bliss that you find in moments with a person, a lover. It's not that. It's your own internal bliss, your purpose in life, your joy, your happiness. How do you get that? You have people walking around almost like zombies nowadays where
Yes.
I hear so much complaining. I see people popping a pill to bring joy. I'm
Yes.
serious. Not that I'm so perfect that I haven't wanted to do it myself. I'm a human being. I'm up and I'm down, right?
Yes.
But I'm here. This show is about friendships and what we talk about. So this week I had a really beautiful week. There were bad things that happened, but there were great things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Katie, held a women's networking group. You facilitated that with Liesl Stewart, right?
Yeah, except that it
Called-
was so much more than that.
Well, it was
turned into a
oh.
woman sharing.
Yeah,
group.
it's called Arizona Women's Unite. We went to that this past week, and that was what started off this great blissful feeling in me. I noticed, though, and the reason I wanted to talk about this on this show is I noticed that of these beautiful 15, however many people were there, these women were all diverse, different cultures, different backgrounds, from different countries, single, married, divorced.
Single.
Yes.
I heard that.
Oh, they were, and Mike,
heard that.
Gore.
You'll have to wear a dress.
Well, why don't
Gorgeous.
you invite me next time as
Honey,
your plus one
you would
lady?
be
wear high heels?
so
Can you
happy.
fake it?
Couldn't I be a plus one? I could be a plus one.
You wouldn't even know where to begin in this room. I'm telling you, we should set
Inside
Mike
and
up.
out.
We should set
Inside
him
and
up.
out.
But
I
here's
know
the
where to
thing about
start.
this. What I noticed is that these women all wanted or were seeking or were experiencing bliss, and not bliss from a man in their life.
Yeah.
It was bliss from what they were following, their dreams. And some of them had careers and they were just transitioning into other things. And they would say, this is what will bring me joy. This is what I'd like your support to get this going. So that made me think about that maybe being a good subject for the show. And I've looked back on my own life. What could I add to that conversation? Well, girls and boys, I've been a career woman. I've been a mom. I've been married. I've been an entertainer most of my life. The times I was the most happiest for me were the times in which I'm creating, because that's what God put me on this planet to do. My mind thinks creative thoughts. I'm not that grounded sometimes. I forget things. Mike knows I'm late. I don't brush my hair that often.
Yeah.
What else? You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those conservative.
Detail-oriented.
You don't look at me and go, she's got it all together. Some people think I do, but I don't know why. Because truly, what I am, though, is I'm a doer of my dreams. Okay? And if I don't do, then I suffer. And I feel like
Yes.
death.
See, that's huge, and we're going to be talking about that later. When you don't, you suffer.
Exactly.
Yes.
So for me, my story is that I got married, and I got married to the wrong man. He was loving and he was loyal, great traits, gave me a fantastic child, but he didn't understand the creative me. He didn't understand that part of me that was crucial to my existence, and he crushed it, guys. He crushed it. And I became only a mother and only a wife. And I loved that part of my life. I love it, but I forgot me. And I became resentful. I became unhappy, and I did eventually leave the marriage. And I then went into a relationship with someone that was so supportive of that part of my life. I didn't need him for that, but he kind of, it was nice to feel that support system. And so the first thing I want to say is,
So, Cindy, in other words, your ex-husband, he he gave you an opportunity to really push past boundaries and move into your own freedom.
Right.
So, in a way, he didn't even crush. He was, in a weird way, giving you an opportunity to move into your bliss and not let anything get in the way.
Well, the thing that I learned, though, I learned inner strength from the whole situation. Because let me tell you what happened. So after I left my husband and I started over here in Arizona, I'm not from Arizona. I didn't know anybody here. And I had been in entertainment my whole life. I gave it up to be a mom and to be a wife. I gave up what I loved, from when I was 8 years old. And then I'm stuck like corporate job, and I had studied law, and I had done all these things that, mom wanted me to do, but
that just weren't you.
They weren't me.
Yes.
So a question comes up. So this is what happened in my mind. My best friend called me. She lives in another country, and she was like, "What is up with you?" This was after I had left my husband. I was working a corporate job for a little while. She's like, and then I started my business, right? Because I needed to make a living, to take care of my child.
Absolutely. Yes.
And, basically the living that I started was something I was blissful about. I like taking care of the environment. It makes me feel good. I started a business in which I could help facilitate some change going on in my little world, and it was all about educating and everything, lecturing people about green cleaning. This is before it became super everywhere. And
so it was years ago.
It wasn't about making money. It was about, I want to lecture, I want to teach. I did that, right? Well, then it became about business, because I then had to make a living, and it took the joy out. My friend called me. She's like, "What is going on with you? Like, why are you like dead on the inside?" And I said, "Because."
That's not a nice thing to say up front. Is that
no,
true?
But it's a good wake-up call, though. No,
your
friend
true.
was giving
your friend's going to tell you how it is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cut the story off, my story, but basically she just kicked me into gear and goes, "What's up? I think that business is basically killing you. Mm-hmm. You're like not yourself." And I realized that my child was being raised by a woman that was not joyful in her own life, in her own skin anymore. And so I said, I have to make a change. What can I do? I started to pray about it. I started to meditate every day. I found Katie, actually, at that time. Katie was my neighbor, and Katie is a spiritual psychologist.
Talk about fate.
And I said, "Girl, you need to help me, because I need to get back in, to do what God intended for me. What, if you want to take God out of it, just what my inner pull was." But how do you do that and raise a child? How do you do that and make money? Mm-hmm. Okay, because entertainment is difficult, and it's very competitive. It's cutthroat. Or any dream that you have can be obstacles. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think some of the roadblocks are to gaining your bliss, to following your path of success? What are some roadblocks that you have come upon in your own life?
I think we are the only ones that get in our own way. And I'm going to be, we're the ones that say we can't do it, or we're not good enough. Or, before an obstacle even comes, we say an obstacle is going to come. We set up our own roadblocks.
But did you ever hear the theory of a bucket of crabs? That if you put a bunch of crabs into a bucket, if one of the crabs almost gets out of the bucket, the other crabs will reach up and pull that crab back down. And that's kind of, sometimes people do that to other people. They don't like people changing because they don't want to lose their friend. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing.
But Mike, when you're original, no one else can be like you.
I know, but you have a favorite band. Like a lot of people, they have a favorite band, and it's kind of like an indie band, and it's like your band. But then when it gets popular, where it gets globally big, and then you go, I don't like those guys anymore. Because then it's not yours anymore. Just like with me, I know I experience that sometimes people will be like, oh, like you're like doing this comedy thing now. Oh, but you were like the guy that was always fun at our parties, and now you're like these other people. Who are these other people? Johnny-come-latelys. Like, you're our friend. And I'm like, well, this is kind of what I want to do for a living.
Well, let me tell you what I like about you, Mike, and what drew me to you as a friend in the first place.
My sexy eyes.
That actually was your hair. I have a thing for hair.
Now my hair is long.
I love long hair.
You mean it wasn't a long beard?
It wasn't.
I don't mind the beard. The beard is okay, but the hair was like killer. And he's tall. I love tall.
But
okay, listen.
What was the question?
That was the shoes.
Well, let me ask this.
Right.
Here's a quote that I heard. It said, "For true success, ask yourself these 4 questions." Write this down, because it's 4 questions to ask yourself. The first one is why.
Why do you want to be successful?
Second one is why not. Third one is why not me.
See, all those are roadblocks that you create for yourself.
Why not me? Number 4, why not now?
Oh, wow.
And there are several huge people in our world who have tried and tried and tried and tried, and they have not succeeded.
And then finally they
yeah.
broke through, right?
Yeah.
After like the 100th try.
I mean, one famous quote is, "I failed and I failed and I failed and I failed again, and that's why I succeeded." And that's from Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Thomas Edison, Thomas Jefferson. Who else do we've got? I mean, there's so
Beethoven,
many.
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Van Gogh lost an ear. I think he was
Oh, he
shaving.
did.
He was
Walt-
shaving, and he didn't know how to shave.
Walt Disney, one of the greatest, filmmakers and changers of our childhood dreams in life, was a guy who really got stepped on all the way up the ladder.
Yeah.
He really had to overcome.
And he was bankrupt.
And
you know how many
yeah,
times he went bankrupt?
He made mistakes. So here's the deal. This is what I want to get across. If you're someone who has a dream or you have this creative drive, or you have anything in you where you want to go, you want to create wealth, don't make it about the dollar necessarily. Make it about what you are, what your power is, and don't give up. So the first thing is, two words that we forget when a lot of people will follow their bliss. I grew up with artists. A lot of them were struggling. I swear to God, they were almost homeless, basically, because they gave up everything to do their dream. You don't have to do that, because there's two words you don't want to forget. It's two words are common sense. Don't forget common sense. Make a plan. You cannot become what you think you need to be by just thinking about it. You have to take action, but be reasonable. If you have a family to raise, if you have things going on in life, then make sure you have a game plan for that. So
and you don't immediately have to quit your job.
No,
right?
like, you know what? There was an article by a woman. She's a famous author now, and she was like, I was married to the wrong man. I, stayed in the marriage for the kids, but I always wanted to write. I wanted to write. And he, basically wasn't supportive. And so eventually, after 10 years, she left and she started to follow her bliss, follow her dream, and, moved forward. And now she's written 5 best-selling books. And basically what Joseph Campbell says in his book is that if you follow your heart or your whatever it is in you that you need, you will become successful at that. Yeah. So the first thing, get rid of the fear and just go for it, but don't do it foolishly. Don't have your kids homeless and in a car because you're going to play guitar on the side of the road. Okay?
Yes. Start it part-time.
Part-time, take action. Like right now, I wanted to do a radio show. I'm not thinking about, am I going to make money doing this? I'm not thinking about, how much time is this going to take. I am thinking about the fact that I want to just do something that makes me happy, you guys, right?
And you didn't quit your other job, did you? You're doing it both at the same time.
I do the same, and it's not always easy, but I'm joyful as you know what.
And I can attest to that, because I personally know you.
Yes.
I personally know you, and I know it's been the happiest you've ever been.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, we have a caller that's called in, and his name is Chuck from Santa Barbara. Chuck, are you on the line? Hi, Chuck.
I'm on the line. I just wanted to call and let you guys know you're doing a great job, and I wish you much success with your show. I don't have a TV set or a radio. I listen and watch everything off the computer, and I think Internet radio
is a wave,
will probably dominate things. But I like a combination of you have information, and the camaraderie is great, and
Chuck, are you single?
It's a good combination.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I saw the colors that. I'm sorry.
Hey, thank you, Chuck. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes,
calling from
big
Santa Barbara, my hometown.
Aww.
Because I spread the word out there. I spread the word.
And Chuck, your words were so kind. Really, so kind and so thoughtful.
Thank you.
I just like to be
Okay,
consistent.
you're welcome.
I like to be consistent with all the callers. I like to ask what they're wearing.
Chuck, do you have anything else you want to add before we go to break? Chuck? Oh, I lost him.
Chuck was gone.
Oops. Well, Chuck, we love you. If you're listening, we love you, and we really appreciate your support of Internet radio and of us. We do what makes us happy, and hopefully that's contagious, and hopefully you guys are entertained and inspired along the way.
And I'm glad you can feel our chemistry, because we do have a chemistry in this room.
Well, I'll say.
Yeah, you should see what goes on behind closed doors. It's pretty cool. Yeah?
I was going to say, why you're doing that, there's also a guy named Simon Sinek who talks about how businesses are successful. And he talks about they're not about what they do, but why they do it, like Apple and companies like that. So it's all about the why is at the core of their business instead of the how and the what. It's very, you might want to look that one up too.
So the reason behind.
So like why,
yes.
like Apple's all about innovation and things like that.
Well, when you're getting ready to start into this, sit down and write down some things. Write down, what do I need to change or eliminate right now or soon? What do I need to eliminate in my life that's keeping me from my bliss?
Mine was hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, I had eliminated hot dogs from my bliss.
What did I have to? Oh, I know what I had to eliminate? Toxic people. Toxic people that were not supportive of, the entrepreneurial endeavors or the career choices or the creative aspects of my life. Toxicity,
so basically
right?
Making more room. That's what you're saying. Making more room so you can allow the new in.
I'd say surround yourself with the people that are going to get you down that
some
road.
People aren't that, they're not geared that way, they're not, that's not part of their chemistry to be entrepreneurial. They like something safe and, I need to know 9 to 5, I need to know what I make every week. There's some people like that,
And that's okay because, some people's bliss is to work a 9 to 5 and to raise a family and to have a husband and that is their bliss. So the key is knowing what that is. There's no judgment on what your bliss is because maybe that's your bliss. That, I love being a wife and mother. My God, was that wonderful. I just needed that also, that other part. Right. I did.
Sometimes you have to let go of the emotional roadblocks too. Some people give up before they've even started. How many people have you met like that? What else do you have there on the list, Cindy?
Well, you just ask yourself, what can I do right now to start bringing me toward my goals?
Yes, I love that.
I just met a little girl that I just love. She's so beautiful the other day at your women's group, Marlis. She's a hairdresser.
Oh, yeah.
She's been through a lot. She told me her story, and I went there and she did my hair.
Your hair looks phenomenal, by the way.
Thank you.
Just for all the people that can't see.
Shout out to Marlis. Girl, Marlis, I went out last night, Old Town Scottsdale, and this hair was turning everybody's head. It was, sister. And so let me tell you, she is at this wonderful place called the Fix in Old Town Scottsdale, the Fix on 3rd. And I just, I was so supported there and it was such a great group of people. We're going to go into a break in about a minute. And I just want you guys to think about some of the things that if you have a question, feel free to call us in because Katie's going to come on and she's going to take this a little bit further, right, Katie?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about the purpose. What is your purpose and what isn't purpose and just the difference between the two.
And then we'll lighten it up with Mike and we're going to try to laugh a little bit more. This was such an important subject for me in my life, and I've been meeting so many women and men that are struggling on that path. They've had to give up so much to get there that I just want to say, hey, we're here with you. We've been there. There's some things you can do. Don't give up, and keep on plugging, man. Right?
Amen.
Keep trucking.
Keep on trucking, right? So hang on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes, okay? Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to the Venus Vault, and we really, really appreciate you being here with us. We were talking about following your bliss, and we're about to go into Katie Sabagian's segment, but before that, I just want to finish up some thought processes. If there's certain we've got a caller, so let me get to the caller. It's Dan from California, and I think I know who this gentleman is because we talked last week. He knew we were going to be talking about following your bliss, and he is someone who absolutely has done that. Dan, are you on the line?
Hello, Dan.
Hey, Dan, it's so nice to hear from you. Thanks for calling in today. This is a perfect show for you to be calling in. It's a perfect show.
I've been listening to the show, and it sounds really good. I can barely hear you, but I like your topic, the following the bliss.
I appreciate that. Okay, I wanted to just mention a little bit about you, Dan. Dan is a mosaic artist, a mosaic tile artist, and correct me in what I'm saying, Dan, here. And Dan is somebody that I've known throughout my life. We've kind of been friends for many years, supporting each other in our dreams. And he gave up a lot to follow his bliss. And we were talking about that the last time I went to visit. We were talking about how much an artist at times has to give up to follow their bliss. It's hard to make a living in any art form. It's very contagious. It's very competitive. Mm-hmm. So, Dan, we don't have a lot of time for the call, but can you give me just a little bit of input about who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm a California artist. I'm a mosaic artist, and I specialize in making my own mosaic boulders. I've done about 60 or 70 of them now, and I see them kind of all over the place. And
yeah, I see them when I go when I'm out there.
So blissful. For 35 years, I was a ceramic tile contractor. Like you were saying, you know, I've always been involved in the creative process, but you have to earn a living to support your family.
Yeah, and you had a family and kids.
If you have a family, you should really take your life seriously enough where you develop something for yourself so you can support yourself. And if you want to go into something else later, you'll already have some financial backing to be involved in either the creative process or whatever blissful state you want to get into.
And Dan, I just want to ask
working also kind of forces you to think about things and to how you want to change your life and how you want to develop yourself.
Yeah, Dan, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Dan?
Pardon me?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Katie has a question.
Dan, you know, just really quickly, please give us a summary, you know, because obviously it took you, you know, I mean, you did all that you could till you finally got to where you wanted to be.
Wait, can you say it again? I can't hear. The phone here is not very good.
Give us a quick summary, and what was the main thing you learned about following your bliss in your life?
I think the main thing that I learned is when I was a kid, I did a lot of things. I always did my art. I always painted. I always drew. I was involved in music. I was in a school band. I started a rock and roll band in Chicago when I was younger. I was in the Boy Scouts. I did a lot of things. I occupied my time. I grew up back east where it's cold, so you stayed in a lot. And I just did a lot of things. And I think I didn't really follow my bliss. I just kind of fell into it. And after doing 35 years of working with ceramic tile and marble, I had 10 square feet of tile here, 3 square feet of tile there, and little by little, I decided to make designs with these, and not just regular mosaics, but something special.
Yeah, when you go...
And I think what you got to do is you just have to do a lot of things in your life, and you don't necessarily... Your bliss isn't going to carry on in the same way throughout your life.
Right.
So you're saying try different things until you touch upon it.
You're still a young guy. You might have to find something else.
Try something. I've always been involved in a creative process, so it's either music or it's art, or, you know, if you get bogged down with that, take a cooking course. Take something to keep yourself inspired and moving forward. And while you're doing these things, you're thinking about your bliss and how to change things or how to restructure things and go back to it.
And you had to give it, Dan, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dan?
Singer,
Dan?
Your album, and it's like you never gave up on your bliss, but now it's in a different form, and you're speaking to people and enriching their lives in that way with your show. So I think you're following your bliss, but
thank you so much for calling, Dan. Can you hear us? I'm sorry. It seems like there's a... Oh, good. I finally can. Thank you so much for calling us.
Dan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so what I wanted to add is we have to go on to a next segment, but I wanted to say something just in knowing you, that you have had to give up quite a lot to follow your bliss. And now when you walk around Santa Barbara, you see his beautiful artwork all over State Street and all over I mean, it's there, and he's made an impact. And he's one of the only guys out there that's doing that. How can we find information about you? Do you have your website up now, or I will put some information on my Facebook page as well, but how can someone purchase your artwork?
Well, you can go to Google and type in my name and look for things that I've done. I've got a Flickr account that I've been working on. I have two, actually. One is the small version, but I'm doing a larger version of Flickr, and you can go that way, or you can contact me at SB.
Okay, so we're going to have to.
Mosaic.
Okay, SB Mosaic. Okay, SB Mosaic at AOL.com. Your name is Dan Crinko, DANCHRYNKO. And what we're going to do then is we're going to ask our listeners to just look you up and check out, your story. And we really appreciate you calling in, Dan. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon. Okay, have a good day, you guys. Thank you.
Care.
Thanks.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And so, really, he was saying, try so many things. I mean, just like he did, he was in the Boy Scouts, and he tried so many different things.
You never know what you're gonna. Yeah.
Well, I've known Dan, and he is somebody. He had a family and kids, and he was working in tile, and he was sometimes very unhappy because he knew there was more, and he had to make the living, he had responsibilities, and he did make that transition. It was not easy, and I'm glad he called in. I'm glad he knew what we were talking about today, and he listened, and sorry that we had some technical difficulties. I really wasn't able to hear him that well, and having a hard time hearing myself, but that's life.
Yes.
So Katie, if you wouldn't mind, take us into your segment, please, and
Absolutely. So guys, have you realized that most people here on Earth have really forgotten why they're here? Mike, have you realized that? They're just dabbling into, this and that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you work so hard, you don't pay attention to why you're actually working, right? Sometimes.
Exactly.
Well,
and it's kind of pointless, right?
Right. I hear
and so, for the people listening today, I want to say, because I've heard people say this so many times, some people are born for a reason, but I don't have a reason to be living. Or, I don't have a purpose. He has a purpose, she has a purpose, that actress has a purpose, but I don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
Have you heard people say that before?
Yeah, I mean, even I don't think an actress really has that big of a purpose in life. I mean, I think someone who's a parent
they're there to inspire.
I think teachers have the biggest purpose. So that's me.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that, sometimes people... No, that's okay, honey. What I'm trying to say is that, sometimes people say he or she has a purpose, but I don't have a purpose. And, I just want to tell those listeners out there, if you are living here on Earth, then you have a purpose, or then you would not be existing. You would literally not be here.
And maybe your purpose hasn't come up yet. Maybe your purpose hits you when you're 50 years old or 60 years old.
And
you never know.
No, but even if you're 30, even if you're 20, what that really just means is that you just haven't discovered it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's inside you dormant right now. You don't even need to wait until you're 50 or 60. It's just you need to tap into it. Yeah.
Well, there was a famous quote by Thomas Edison, you guys, that said, if we did all the things that we are capable of, we would literally astound ourselves.
Exactly.
So maybe it's just someone not understanding what their capabilities are. They just don't get that yet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They just haven't tapped into it. They haven't discovered it yet. So
who said that? Edison? That guy's a crook. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
he was. He stole from Tesla. He stole from Tesla. Never mind. I watch a lot of conspiracy videos.
Mike spends his time in Bliss watching these type of documentaries.
Yeah. Well, trust me, when the power goes out, I'll save you guys.
Tesla was a genius, though.
Tesla's what?
Let's give him some credit where credit is due.
He's a bit of a kook, but he was a genius.
A lot of crazies are flipping smart.
Yeah.
You're eccentric, right?
Yeah, sometimes the more crazy you are, the smarter you are.
He was way ahead of his time. Way ahead of his time.
And you know how I know? Because I love intelligent men, and I have experience with some
they're
crazies.
A little bit on the nutty side.
And I must love that too.
Yeah.
One of Caesar's generals once said, if someone says something is impossible, that just means it's impossible for you, not for me.
That's very true. Yeah. Oh, we're full of quotes today, right?
That's right.
T-shirts.
Guys, the second thing is that some people here believe that they're here to live a hard life. And I want to say that's not true either. They think that struggling and suffering is a part of life. And I want to say that that's a myth. That's really not true. And if you're, out there and you're suffering and you're struggling, know that struffling.
That's like you snuffle up like this?
That's right.
Snuffle up.
Suffering only comes from not following your heart's deepest desires.
Yeah.
I want you guys just to remember that. Because when you're on purpose, you will feel so enlightened and enlivened and so joyful, okay? And so for all of you here that think that, life is about suffering, please know that that's a misunderstanding and that's not true. And then another thing I want to say is that some people think that their purpose is here to be famous or to walk the red carpet or to acquire money. And money, fame, and all of that other stuff is not a purpose. It could be the byproduct of something that comes afterwards.
Well, because you know why? Because we look up to the people. Actually, what it really is, we look up to the people that are shiny, the ones that took a chance and and went for after their creative path. You know what I mean? We make them heroes,
And
but it's really
our
because
values aren't right.
well,
But
a lot
really,
of
they sold their soul to Illuminati.
well, no. Oh Jesus, we're gonna get into Illuminati.
today.
Aliens
You need to
put us
cut
there
that out.
for, you know.
But listen, no, they're creative and they're courageous. They're courageous, you know, they went for it. And something about that is appealing, you know, mass appeal for that. So, it doesn't mean that they're more worthy. It doesn't mean that they're better
they're
or
happy
smarter.
even.
Maybe they're not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think if you're doing what you enjoy, it tends to bring happiness.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's about, sharing your love, through your purpose, however, each way, some people can share their love like Marlise by cutting someone else's hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about her becoming famous or her walking the red carpet.
She said she wanted to cry when she was done with my hair because she loved what it looked like. And she is precious. And
that is purpose.
That's love.
That is purpose.
And that's purpose.
Love.
She's
Yes.
doing what she really enjoys,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And she made me happy, and I wanted to also cry and give her love.
Aww.
Hi, Marlis. I hope you're listening. By the way, she's totally beautiful too, inside
She's
and
single?
out. No, I don't think so. What does that music mean?
The good ones are never single. That's
We'll
good.
be back.
No, I'm a good one, and I'm single for a little while. I'm single for a
Oh,
little
look at
while.
you teasing the audience. Teasing the audience.
I won't be single for long, honey. You know
I
that.
don't know what I'm going to be.
I have to make a decision not to be single is what it is.
I'm trying really hard not to be
And you know
single.
what? Relationships aren't a purpose either.
No, but it's really fun.
Yeah, they are
It's
fun.
really fun. So when we hear this music, first of all, again, I don't know what it is about this song. I flip and love it.
Who sings it again?
Something, I can't say it. Glorious something,
Oh,
a word,
that's
a bad
right,
word. That rhymes with hazard.
That's all right. That's all right. You've given enough clues. We
Glorious
understand.
hazard with a different, right. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back. We'll be back with more fun in the Venus Vault. Hold on and don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Vault. We want to thank our listeners for calling in. We have another call we're going to take before we finish our hour, and it went by so fast, I guess, when you're talking about bliss and happiness. It goes by quick, right? Time flies when you're having fun. Lori from Scottsdale has called in, so I want to see if I can get Lori on the line. Tashima? Okay, she's going to work that out for us. Lori, are you there?
No, I'm here.
Hi, Lori.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
It's Lori from the meeting.
Hi there. Oh, my God.
Massage therapist.
Hi, Katie. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so nice to hear your voice.
Well, thank you. I've been looking forward to this, and I wanted to hear what you're doing, and you're doing a lovely job. Thank you.
Well, we really appreciate it. Sometimes you're live and, things kind of go a little astray at times. Little technical difficulties here and there,
Yeah.
or you get lost on the freeway. Things like that
Right.
occur. But we got here,
I know
right?
that.
Lori, do you want to tell us anything about following your bliss today? Any advice to the listeners?
One thing that I wanted to contribute, and that it hit me, especially the other night. I was late to the meeting as well, and when you ladies started talking about being late, I went, oh, here's something that I've learned, a tool that as you're starting to go somewhere and it's not working, you can say to the universe, how does it get better than this?
I love
How does it get better than this?
And Lori, you're someone that is following your bliss because you were in you came to the meeting and, you were late and getting lost and you got there and you're a massage therapist building your business here in the city. And you were really, we want to support that, and we want you to be able to follow your bliss,
Is there a Mr. Lori?
Mike's, Lori,
No.
Lori, Mike is always hitting on every woman that calls in.
Lori.
You may want to say yes.
Yeah, for God's sake, just say yes, Lori.
Lori,
Just to save yourself.
Lori
I've
is
got a bad back sometimes.
Hey, Lori, we really appreciate your support. We don't have a lot of time because we're actually getting ready to go off air, but, we wanted to say a shout out to your business. Where can people find information about you, Lori?
Thank you. I am on Facebook under Lori J. Scott.
Thank you. We appreciate it. So Lori's in Scottsdale. Lori is following her bliss. So let's support her to do that. And we also appreciate you supporting us by calling in today and supporting our bliss because this is what makes us joyful. We look forward to Sunday morning with you guys.
And you know what, Cindy, speaking of the universe, Lori just brought up something really, really good that
Okay.
I would like to touch upon. I mean, this is a perfect segue into this. For guys that don't know what their life purpose is, I want you for 30 days, okay, in the morning when you wake up and when you're sleeping at night, to say, "Dear universe, please awaken me to my life purpose now. Open the doors that align me with my life purpose and close the doors that do not serve me anymore." Because you know how sometimes instead of going left, we insist on going right?
Yes, and our intuition tells us we should go left, and instead we don't listen.
Yes, because we want what we want.
Yeah, and the same thing is, too, don't have bad people in your life. Again, you know, if someone's bringing you down and they're not supporting that dream of yours, it's important. It's important. Your dream is important. It matters. And it's not going to happen unless you believe in it, unless you surround yourself with people that do. You know?
Yeah, and this is a great thing to do for 30 days and just see what happens. Just see the magic that unfolds.
Do you have to say that word for word, or can I paraphrase?
You can totally
I'm not good at talking in my sleep like that. I'll just be like, "Help me, universe. Help me."
Open doors, close others.
My windows are open this time of the year, too. My neighbors might think I'm kooky. Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you to Lori for calling in.
Absolutely.
Lori, we love you. And, you know,
we love you too.
We're totally in support of you anytime, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Good. All
And
right.
so we'll let you go, but we'll see you at the next meeting, I'm hoping, and I'll have to call you for a massage, of course.
Perfect.
Have to do that.
I'll be in touch.
Oh God, Lori, stay away from Mike.
It's a therapist joke.
Stay away from Mike, Lori.
Therapist joke. Come on.
And thanks
and
again.
Actually, my Facebook is I was in Denver. It's not under Scottsdale. The Lori J. Scott from Denver.
Okay, perfect. Thanks,
Okay,
Lori.
great.
Have
Thanks,
a beautiful
bye.
Sunday.
You
Bye.
take care.
Katie, I like that. You know, I like that you have to do, you have to kind of make the right choices. You know what I mean? Like, and it's hard. Listen, you know, it's difficult. And Mike knows 100% what this is like, right,
Yes.
Mike? Because Mike, you're sometimes, not you, I'm saying to take your bliss, sometimes you're broke in the meantime. Straight out. Sometimes you're broke, and you know what else you get? You get judgment. You get judgment from the opposite sex. You get judgment from your friends. Like, what the hell are you doing not working a day job like everybody else in America? Well, you know what?
That's coming from their fear. That's coming from their fear.
First of all, don't judge me. Don't
I've had
judge.
people do that in last month, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what else? It takes courage.
Yes.
It takes courage to follow your bliss. It does. It takes education. It takes action. It takes courage. Right?
Yes.
Mike,
Well,
I
also
you know,
the dollar's about to collapse, so it doesn't matter that I don't have any money right now. Again, conspiracy
That
videos.
is a
It's
very
all
good
conspiracy
excuse, Mike.
Mike, you have anything to add in our last 5 minutes here?
For the bliss, that's one of the things I learned. My bliss was being a private investigator for 14 years. When the economy tanked, I kind of lost that. I was disillusioned, and I had just started doing comedy at 37 years of age, something I always wanted to do. And I decided to start driving a taxi. Mm-hmm. And I met more people that were in such worse shape than I was, that it made me really appreciate the things I did have in my life. Mm-hmm. And one of the things people always tell me in the taxi, they'd always be like, "Don't ever get old." I'm like, well, you don't have to get old. You just have to take care of your body first. That's the key. Don't worry about money so much. I've seen people that are rich and they're hobbled, and you go, that doesn't do you much good now, does it?
Well, like listen.
Smoking, don't smoke either. Oh.
You know, and you're saying gratitude. That's what you're really saying.
Yeah.
Have gratitude.
Well, like as an example, you know, you may never attain all of your goals. You may never write that magic book that you want to write. You may not marry that perfect mate that you've been, you know, that's going to bring you your bliss. But the journey to get there is actually the blissful part of it. You know, yes, of course we want some sort of, you know, we're working toward a goal, but it's our journey in following our path, not somebody else's, Like, you know, sometimes we have controlling parents. Let's be honest. We know about that.
Right. We do what they want to do instead of what we
want
to do.
Like my mother, you know, go to law school, Cindy, you know, do this, do that. Well, law was cool, you know, I liked it, but it wasn't my bliss. You know what I mean? And as soon as I got out of there and started singing, you know,
I would be
everybody
a surgeon at an ER.
Yeah.
If I was listening to my mom.
Everybody thought I was crazy. They said, "What the heck are you doing?"
And I know people that are lawyers, and their parents are disappointed in them because they're lawyers and they're not as good a lawyers as they should be.
Right.
And they don't even want to be a lawyer, and it's like, I hate being a lawyer.
So point is you will never make your parents happy.
Some people will never be happy.
Well, you can never do anything to make anyone happy. Even, you know, you get into a relationship, men kind of sometimes get controlled by women because, you know, we tend to do that. Women can be very controlling to a man. And that's not okay, really. Yeah. You should just allow the guy to be who he is, be his support, be his wings. And at the same time, women, don't let a man control you. You know, be your loving self, you know, be your good partner, but do what you have to do to be happy, because you don't have a long, you know, life. We're not here forever, you know, it goes by quickly, and you never know when it's going to end. So live your life each day in your own bliss. Do what makes you happy. It's, my sister, as an example, was joyful with me this last few years. The first time in her life in 15 years was she joyful. She would sing in the kitchen, and I love you, Cindy. You made me so joyful, because I brought her under my wing and, led her into a happy life, right?
And if you don't know, what brings you bliss, ask the universe. Ask and you will receive, guys, but with consistency. Don't just ask once.
She, my sister wasn't raised with me. She was my house sister. At the end, she's so joyful. She came down with cancer.
Aww.
She died, 9 months later.
God bless her.
But the point is, the thing that made me the most sad when she passed away was that bliss that she had with me the last year of her life, she didn't have the 15 years before. And I wished I could go back and help her facilitate that joy. So if today helps anybody, if we have 1 listener or 5 listeners, go for it, man. Go for it, because we are not guaranteed a tomorrow.
And you know what, Cindy? You taught your sister in that 1 year how to feel love. And that in itself is huge.
Yeah. And Mike, I'm proud of you, by the way. I am your friend and I am your supporter, and I'm totally proud of you and your journey. I don't care if you're making money or not. I care that you're following your bliss, and I'm proud of you for that.
And you're making people laugh.
Keep on trucking, that's what I say.
And Tashima too. Tashima works so hard at a regular job, and she's in here volunteering her time, our producer, working with us, putting up with all our crap, because we are so hard.
Because you don't know how to work it.
We have some baggage. You have no idea what we put Tashima through in here.
I don't understand how you can come here during the day every time and never find it.
Mike, you don't understand me.
Well, I've seen you drive.
No, you have to get inside the Cindy head to get it. Katie knows.
I don't want to go in there.
Oh, honey,
yes, you do. It's wonderful.
No.
Mike, you do. You don't know what's in there. It's wonderful.
Not when you're behind the wheel of a car. No,
I know.
It's scary.
Just get me outside of the car. I'm okay.
I don't want to know everything.
No, what happened was I got off the freeway and I got lost because I don't have a sense of direction.
That's what GPS
Crazy
is
creative
for.
people can't find their way home.
tells you exactly where to go.
And so, do you have any last, info about us, Cindy, about tapping into your bliss?
Get a smarter phone.
I do. A couple things. We must be willing to let go of the life we've planned, as to have the life that is waiting for us. Don't.
So clean out your closet so you can make room for new clothes.
Make room for that new life.
Yes.
Don't think that you have to be stuck in a mundane job that you get up every day and you hate. Don't do that to yourself. I mean, there's some young guys that I'm meeting now recently, and I just feel it's a blessing, from the universe, No, good God. Young,
but they're inspiring, aren't they?
They are young people.
Young entrepreneurs, okay? Mm-hmm. And we have the Green Pilgrim, we have Paul was in the studio. We have people that are coming into our worlds that we've been meeting. It's just the universe bringing them to me. Mm-hmm. That I go, man, these guys are following their bliss. And some of them, they have to work a day job or whatever. I like that. Yes. I like that they're doing that.
Young people now with the internet, they grew up with the internet
smart.
That opened up the whole world to people. They're saying that even college is kind of like, do you really need to go to college if you have the internet at your fingertips any day of the week? I say no.
Well, guys, this hour went by so fast because it was blissful. It was blissful.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It wasn't as funny as it can be, but it was more serious. Yeah. Well, I appreciate this. Was so important to me that I stayed up last night and when I got home late, and I was up all night, really, it just really mattered, Anyway, I want you guys to tune in next week. So, hopefully the listeners really enjoyed today. And
what's next week's topic?
I'm not sure yet,
Oh, God,
there's so much.
Yes, we don't even know what to pick.
Let's ask the universe.
Yeah, that's right, universe.
What do you want it to be?
Let's ask the universe.
What do you want it to be, Mike? You are the universe.
Let's find Mike a date. No, I don't know what it is.
You want us to find you a date next week?
Need to. No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Let's
you're
get
fine.
Christmas decorations up or something.
You're fine. Well, we're gonna sign off. We have no time now. So thank you everybody for listening. It was a wonderful hour, and we will see you next week on the Venus Vault Show. Find us on Facebook, the Venus Vault Radio Show.